With this series on the power of influence. We're in part 2, and I want to begin by sharing a story with you about a young woman who went to her mother and told her about how things were so hard for her. She didn't know how she was going to make it and wanted to give up. It seemed when one problem was solved, a new one arose. So her mother took her to the kitchen and filled 3 pots with water. In the first, she placed carrots. In the second, eggs, and in the last, she placed ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil without saying a word. About 20 minutes later, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl, and she ladled the coffee out and placed it in a bowl. She asked her daughter, "Tell me what you see." The daughter replied, "Carrots, eggs, and coffee." Her mother asked her to feel the carrots, and the daughter noted that they had gotten soft. Then her mom asked her to take an egg and break it, and after pulling off the shell, the daughter observed that the egg was now hard. Finally, her mom asked her to sip the coffee. So she did, and the daughter smiled, and as she tasted its richness, she asked her mom, "What's the point, Mom?" Her mother explained that each of these objects faced the adversity of boiling water, but each reacted differently. The carrot went in strong and hard. However, after being subjected to boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile with its thin outer shell protecting its liquid interior, but after sitting in the boiling water, its inside became hardened. However, the ground coffee beans were unique. After they were in the boiling water, they changed the water. So the mom asked her daughter, "Which one are you?" When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you like the coffee bean? The bean actually changed the hot water. The very circumstance that brings pain when the water gets hot releases a fragrance and a flavor. If you're like the coffee bean, you influence and change the situation around you. The world's most influential leaders, business people, and innovators know that this key characteristic to help them reach their goals and affect change is influence. They possess not only the ability to wield influence, but they are influential. A study of the greatest influencers in the world, Gandhi, Christ, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Margaret Thatcher, Rosa Parks, John Maxwell, Jack Welch, and many, many others, shows it wasn't just what these people did that made them influential. It wasn't because they had money, position, or authority. They were influential because of who they were or who they are and the traits that they possess. Webster defines influence as the act or power of producing an effect without apparent exterior force or direct exercise of command. Through this definition, the difference between influence and dictatorial command you can see. Command says, "Do this because I said so, and there will be bad consequences if you don't." Influence says, "I'm helping you to see that this is the best course of action in terms of the long-term benefits for both of us." Command can initiate change of mind, but it's externally motivated. As soon as the external consequence is lifted, the status quo quickly resumes. Influence creates an internal shift in a person's mindset. Internal commitment is gained independent of external consequences. The world's most influential people don't merely change others' behavior. They shift their mindsets. Suppose you own a retail store and an employee continues to not greet customers in the culture that you have. Command says, "Do this or you'll get fired or written up." Influence says, "Let me show you why this is important to your success and mine." The employee who is commanded to greet customers will do it while they think you are watching. The customers will see through this veneer though, but the employee who is influenced will begin to greet customers with sincerity, regardless of your presence, because an internal shift has occurred, because you took the time to change their mindset or influence how they see and do things. What the world needs is fewer commanders and more influencers. You were created to be an influencer. You may not recognize this in your life yet, but you are already an influencer, and you can grow your ability to become even more influential once you identify and understand your potential to be influential.